Weakness as the power of God. The concept of weakness as the power of God is rooted in Christian theology and is often inspired by biblical teachings. One of the key passages in the Bible that addresses this idea is found in 2 Corinthians 12, verses 9 to 10, where the Apostle Paul writes, "But he said to me, My grace is sufficient for you. For my power is made perfect in weakness." This passage reflects the paradoxical nature of Christian strength found in weakness. Here are some key insights into how weakness can be seen as the power of God. Dependence on God's grace. Recognizing our weaknesses leads to a greater dependence on God's grace. Instead of relying solely on our own strength, we acknowledge our need for divine assistance and draw strength from God's empowering grace. Transformation and humility. Embracing weakness can be transformative, leading to humility. When we acknowledge our limitations and vulnerabilities, it creates space for God's transformative power to work in our lives, shaping us into vessels for His glory. Boasting in weakness. Paul's statement about boasting in weaknesses is a counterintuitive notion. It emphasizes a shift in perspective, where weaknesses are not seen as hindrances but as opportunities for God's power to be showcased. This attitude reflects trust in God's ability to work through our imperfections. Christ's power in difficulties. The passage highlights that Christ's power is not absent in the midst of difficulties but is, in fact, most evident in challenging circumstances. This challenges the conventional notion of strength and emphasizes the divine power that can sustain believers through trials. Spiritual strength in weakness. The idea that, when I am weak, then I am strong, suggests that true spiritual strength is found in acknowledging our inadequacies and relying on God. It is a strength that transcends human limitations and relies on God's infinite power. God's glory in human weakness. Emphasizing weakness as the power of God underscores the idea that God's glory can shine through human frailty. It redirects the focus from human accomplishments to the divine strength that sustains believers in their weaknesses. Trust in God's wisdom. Acknowledging weakness involves trusting in God's wisdom and plan. It recognizes that God, in His infinite wisdom, can use even our weaknesses for His purposes, bringing about greater good and spiritual growth. This theological perspective challenges the world's understanding of strength and power, proposing a paradigm where human weakness becomes a canvas upon which God's power is displayed. It encourages believers to view their limitations not as obstacles but as opportunities for God's strength to be made manifest.